I love the design of Little Miss Lucky. There's just something about her that I think is absolutely beautiful. It's so sweet. This is the 16th Little Miss book. To be honest, I don't like the narrative. The narrative itself is not that bad, but it doesn't really suggest somebody who's very lucky. And I will explain what I mean by that. So I will give spoilers about what the whole narrative is about. But it starts off with Little Miss Lucky in her home, and she's tucked up in bed reading a book. And then the next thing she knows, there's a knock at her door, and she goes outside, and there's nobody there. And she ends up being whisked away by a big gust of wind and comes across this rather delightfully illustrated tree. It's called the Midnight Tree. And she talks about the book talks about the fact that this tree has a face. And I was a bit surprised then that they didn't bother to illustrate the face, because it seemed a bit weird that they would, focus on something and then not show it. So I thought that was an odd choice. Also, the positions of her hands are a little bit peculiar. And ultimately, here's the spoiler, at the end of the book, we realised that she had fallen asleep. And none of those things had happened. And it constantly says, I wonder why this story is called Little Miss Lucky. And then again, I wonder why this story is called Little Miss Lucky. At the very end, it says, now you know why this story is called Little Miss Lucky. And I don't really think it was luck. I don't think having a dream is good luck. So I feel like the book's maybe not informing young viewers about what luck means. I feel like it's not showing that word correctly and giving an accurate portrayal of it. So it's a really big missed opportunity. The narrative itself is quite nice. The story of somebody falling asleep, having this dream, and not realizing it's a dream until they wake up. I think that's beautiful. But the fact that it's focusing on the fact that this is happening because she's called Little Miss Lucky, but none of that's really lucky. I don't think it's, I don't know, if I'd never heard of the word lucky before, and I read this, which is of course what a lot of young children might be experiencing, I don't think I'd be none the wiser. Or I think I'd be none the wiser. I don't think I'd have any clue about what lucky meant. I don't know, I can't even fathom what I'd work out it would mean. But yeah, I don't think it's actually accurately portraying what lucky is. Nevertheless, I like the character. I really like the character's design. I think she's very cute. I like the narrative itself. I just don't like the fact that they keep saying that this is happening because she's lucky, because that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Nothing in this, apart from there was one moment where she fell into, there you go, in a hay. And I love that. That's a beautiful bit of illustration. But she fell into a haystack. Now that's quite lucky, because she could have fallen onto solid ground and it could have hurt. So that bit was lucky, but everything else, not really. So I'm up and down. Part of me loves it. It's a sweet narrative. The character is wonderful, but it's not really displaying luck, is it? Not amazing, but ultimately still a pretty sweet book.